Combing through boxing news, I run across an interesting article that speaks on something that all of us have looked forward to, and that is a possible matchup from the light heavyweight division, an undisputed matchup featuring Dimitri Bibble and Arturbeterbiev coming together for one champion, one face, one name at 175. These two men hold all the titles. Beterbiev holds 3, Bivol holds 1. Bivol holds and owns a victory over the name and face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez. Arturbeterbiev owns the single record of 19 wins, 19 knockouts, and is a unified champion looking to become undisputed. So, what's so interesting about the article that I stumbled across? Well, I'll tell you. Once again, if these two men are able to come together, they will come together, but it won't be according to what we want to see, because there is going to be a roadblock placed by a man who places roadblocks all too well. Now, who is that person that we're talking about? None other than, let's talk about it. Who could we be talking about for this video? You've heard the name. You've seen his shame, the shame that he brings upon the sport of boxing. Mauricio Suleiman. According to an article published in Boxing News 24, WBC President Mauricio Suleiman states that his organization will not sanction the fight between light heavyweight champions Dimitri Bibble and Arturbeterbiev. Do tell. They just don't want certain things to happen for certain reasons, people. We can't get beyond it, and it doesn't even matter what the excuse may be. And I will go into it, but just the opening remark. He's not going to sanction this fight. Why not? You sanction fights that aren't even championship caliber. You create belts for these matches for fighters that don't even deserve championship opportunities. You create belts for people that are coming from a certain background, region, nation. But you can't sanction between two fighters from Russia and Ukraine. Seriously, something is wrong here. But the article goes on. Sulaiman says that Beterbiev versus Bivol, the fight can happen, but it won't have the WBC title at stake due to the Russia-Ukrainian war. That right there, people, again, from a man who has been in bed with some of the most seedy individuals in boxing. I don't have to mention names. All you have to do is do your research and due diligence, and you can come right to your own conclusions. But think about it. When you talk about Dimitri Bibble, who brings his record of 21-0 with 11 KOs, and thinking about pairing up against the undefeated unified champion, Arturbeterbiev, who's 19-0 with 19 KOs. This is the biggest fight of that division, and it will consolidate all titles and make one champion out of this situation. But the article goes on to state, Bivol was born in Tokmak, Kazakhstan, and lives in St. Petersburg, Russia. Unless the war ends soon, boxing fans might not ever get the chance to see the undisputed 175-pound championship fight between IBF, WBC, and WBO champion Beterbiev and WBA champion Bivol. If Bivol and Beterbiev still want to fight to prove who is the top guy in the division, there will be just as many people that want to see the match as there would be if all four belts were on the line. Only hardcore boxing fans care about the fight being for the undisputed title. To the average person, they see the Bivol-Beterbiev clash as a great fight between the two best at 175, and it won't bother them that it won't be for the undisputed championship. To quote Mauricio Suleiman, he says, WBC cannot sanction a fight with WBA light heavyweight champion Dimitri Bibble in it. Suleiman told Esquerdazo about the World Boxing Council's position towards sanctioning the undisputed 175-pound championship between the unbeaten WBA champ Bivol and IBF WBC WBO unified champion Beterbiev. Quote, that is because our position with Russia and the ongoing war with the Ukraine, WBC would not accept that fight exactly, said Suleiman about the 175-pound belt under the WBC not being at stake if Bivol fights Beterbiev. Recently, Bivol's manager, Vadim Kornilov, said that a fight between Dimitri and Beterbiev wouldn't happen right now because financially, the money isn't there to justify a match of this magnitude. No, that's not the reason. These guys will never break the bank fighting. There are other reasons that this fight is not taking place, people. Kornilov stated they were negotiating a fight with Jaime Munguia for Bivol and potentially facing Canelo Alvarez in a rematch in September. Bivol is arguably coming off the best year of his career in 2022, having successfully defended his title twice, beating Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez and Canelo in one-sided fights. Bravo to Bivol. That's my personal comment. The WBC has ordered Beterbiev to defend against his mandatory Callum Smith, who's 29-1 with with 21 KOs. That fight is expected to happen next. Think about it. The Callum fight, the one loss on Callum's record is to who? Canelo Alvarez. If he could not handle Canelo, there is absolutely no way he's going to handle the unified champion, Artur Beterbiev, who is a monster in comparison to Canelo Alvarez. But such is the case, because they will go fishing in a shallow pond for opponents instead of making the fight that boxing deserves and the champions deserve. There is another reason why this fight is not happening, and I alluded to it a moment ago, and I'll tell you what my personal thought is on it. These two men, when you look at their images, they represent something that is not prevalent in the sport. To keep a couple of men, even though they be in the same division, thriving and surviving and holding their own while turning back challenges of some deserving, some not, contenders and pretenders, it promotes the sport in a different kind of way from an ethnic standpoint. Period, point blank. Wars have gone on around the world since time, and boxing, since its inception, has carried on. Joe Louis famously took on Max Schmeling when the world was at war. And the President of the United States rallied and said, these are the type of muscles that we need to defeat the enemy. In other words, endorsing Joe Louis, an American, fighting against the enemy of the day. So, with that being said, and as we look ahead, do you see why these two aren't fighting? Regionally, these two men are closer than cousins. And the prosperity of the sport is contingent upon they thriving and surviving and keeping those titles held hostage. Canelo couldn't lift the one that Bivol had. Neither could Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. Now, Jaime Munguia? Are you kidding me? The young man who has turned down challenges of the Charlos and Andre. The man who doesn't want to see anyone that is of youth, prime, and capability. Golden Boy has hidden this man and turned down more title shots and opportunities than you can count on one hand. But he really wants to get in there against Bivol? Interesting. The same thing that will happen in his fight against Bivol has already transpired against his other countrymen, Gilberto and Canelo. So Jaime is the next bait up on the hook. But that doesn't mean he's ready for it. And that doesn't mean that boxing is ready for it. We want to see championship caliber matchups, but we don't want people interfering with our beloved sport and messing things up. People like Mauricio Suleiman, someone who is one of the last that you would consider or equate with integrity in the sport. So, as he tries to make a stand on why he wouldn't sanction this bout, let's call for him to explain why he's sanctioning all these other circumstances and sticking his greedy little fingers and nose into other areas of the sport that has nothing to do with the WBC. Haven't we seen him jump in and try to bring one of his titles to a fight? And a fighter has turned his titles away? I don't want that belt. How about that? Yeah, we're talking about you, Mauricio Suleiman. Go sit down somewhere and take your belt with you, because Artur Beterbiev is a unified champion and Dimitri Bibble is a world champion. And the two of these men can get it on without whatever you have to say or try to interject in their opportunity. But what do you all think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Leave comments and let me know what your thoughts are about Silly Man pulling more silly tricks. And stupid rabbit, tricks are for kids. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.